Ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen. I decided to make my first game in Google Play Store. To Google Play Store. In Google.
Okay.
What makes this world better? Stealing without catching you. I'm not gonna lie. The game I made was highly motivated by this game, where you are this ball and with a grappling hook, or in the language of hell,
Enterhaken.
You need to survive by not touching these or these pillars. And to be frank, the game is not bad at all. Except this fucking get, this is a shit. And I guess this is the reason why players don't like the game. But since I'm a game developer, I can fix this issue by making a similar game in 7 days and publish it in Google Play Store. To Google.
Day 1. Wednesday.
So as I started to work on the game, I instantly faced an issue. For some reason, I couldn't record my screen after starting Unity. And by the way, I'm not sure that I have ever mentioned, but I have a goddamn degree in computer science. So I proudly say that I didn't panic for a moment, because those 3.5 years taught me everything. So here, and here. Didn't work. And my standard of panic began to increase, but reinstalling the GPU driver solved the issue. So after it, I made a sketch of what I needed for the game, which were some pillars, a ball, a grappling gun, and physics. And actually on the first day, I just set up the basic environment, which means that I downloaded some textures and made a pillar object, where I actually just increased the scale of the y-axis on this cube. Anyway, I put these pillars next to each other just to throw it in the trash later and to realize that it's much easier to test the game if I have only one object on the top, which I can use for the grappling script. And still on this day I added the ball, which has a rigid body and a collider, so when I start the game it will fall until it reaches the pillar object. On the second day I implemented the grappling gun and I planned to record a video, but it happened again. I again tried everything. But in the end I reinstalled the GPU driver again, and this time I tried with an older one, which worked perfectly. So as I mentioned earlier, I implemented the grappling gun and I made it based on Danny's tutorial. And as you can see, the camera didn't follow the player, so I simply attached the main camera to the player object. Thus, if I move the player, the camera will follow it. So let's see how it works. So the ball is rotating because of the physics, at least I think so. But fortunately the rigid body has a constraint where I could freeze the rotation, and it seems much better. And the next step was to generate the map because it looks shit. So I wrote a script that I didn't finish on that day, because it just generated a given amount of pillars and didn't destroy those ones which you passed and cannot see anymore. But let's do it tomorrow.
Day 3. Friday.
We have a problem. Say again, please.
So on the third day I finished with the map generator script, and if I move the player, the new pillars will be automatically generated. And at this point I also realized that the grappling script is not really working in a way that I want, because when I shoot, it instantly draws the line and pulls the ball, which makes the game too easy. So now if I press the spacebar, it shoots a raycast and creates a joint where it hits the object. So basically this whole thing happens very fast, and you can shoot very fast as well. But to make the game harder, I want to draw this line over some time, which literally changes everything. So with this new approach I couldn't use raycast, but I did it in a way that I start to draw a line and put a collider at the end of it and create a joint at the end of the line. After a few hours of suffering, after a few hours of vector calculation, I was able to fix this issue, and the gameplay was much better. So it was time to port the game to my phone, but before that I had to make a script that restarts the game when the player dies. And for sure the porting didn't work, but after a few hours of fixing, finally I was able to play on my phone. But at this point I realized there were too many tasks in my head, so I wrote them in Trello. And at the end of the day I made a score counter, which is working based on the pass distance.
Day 5. Sunday.
On day 5 I decided to improve the graphics because it was so fucking ugly that I didn't like it. Fortunately the game doesn't have many objects, only some pillars, the ball and the rope. But to be honest, I don't have much experience doing this, how to improve the graphics, although I was quite satisfied with the result. I mean with not this one, but rather this one. And I know it's not the best, but I can improve it later.
Days X. Monday.
On day 6 I implemented the high score feature that will compare your best score with others' best, and at the end of the game it will tell you what is your actual position on the leaderboard. And I also added a restart button, because when the player died, the game just restarted itself, so this button will appear when you die, and you can restart the game by clicking on it. On the last day I added some sound effects that I recorded and edited for like an hour, and the result was this.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer every night.
So I decided to not add any sound effects since there were like 4 hours left, and I rather wanted to publish the game. Thus, I watched this video and without any issue I uploaded the game to PlayStore and it was ready to.
Your app currently targets API level 28 and must target at least API level 29.
So Unity has an option where you can select the highest API level automat.
Please run the SDK manager manually. Warning, failed to read or create install properties file.
10 similar problems later.
Gentlemen, I did it. We did it. The game is available on Google PlayStore, so I guess it was worth going through all this. So if you liked the video, smash the like button and subscribe for more content, and